In 1588, as the Spanish Armada set sail to invade England, a storm destroyed their mighty fleet, or so the history books claim. But survivors whispered a darker tale. They spoke of black ships that appeared from the clouds, striking down vessels with beams of searing light. What really sank the Armada was not the wrath of nature, but an extraterrestrial force watching humanity's warlike nature with great interest. Weeks before the Armada launched from Spain, fishermen in Lisbon reported seeing glowing orbs hovering over the horizon at dusk. They described them as lanterns of God, though the lights moved unnaturally against the wind. At the same time, strange illnesses began spreading through the port towns, with sailors collapsing from sudden fits, their eyes glowing briefly before death. Among those affected was Captain Diego Montoya, who claimed he was visited by angels in his fever dreams. They showed him visions of Earth from above, revealing the globe surrounded by black needle-like ships. Montoya awoke screaming, but he kept his visions secret for fear of being branded mad. As the Armada sailed north, sailors began noticing strange phenomena. Compass needles spun wildly, and the ocean itself seemed to shimmer with an eerie, phosphorescent glow. At night, massive shapes moved beneath the water, casting shadows larger than any known sea creature. On the third night, a small ship at the edge of the fleet, Nuestra Señora del Mar, vanished without a trace. The crew aboard nearby vessels reported hearing a low hum and seeing a blinding blue light moments before the ship disappeared. The Admiral of the Armada, the Duke of Medina Sidonia, dismissed the reports as panic, but fear began to spread. As the Armada approached the English Channel, the weather turned against them. A violent storm separated the fleet, scattering ships across treacherous waters. In the chaos, survivors on one ship, La Santa Lucia, reported seeing massive black vessels emerge from the storm clouds. These ships had no sails or oars but hovered silently above the ocean. Beams of light shot down, slicing through wooden hulls as if they were paper. Entire crews were incinerated or pulled into the sky by unseen forces. English and Spanish sailors alike watched in horror as the black ships descended, indifferent to the flags of either side. For a brief moment, enemies fought together, turning their cannons on the otherworldly invaders. But their weapons were useless. After the Armada's destruction, a handful of survivors washed ashore in Ireland and Scotland. Among them was Captain Montoya, who had been aboard La Santa Lucia. He recounted how the black ships had spared his vessel, instead boarding it. The beings that entered were tall, with translucent skin that shimmered like moonlight. Their eyes glowed faintly, and they moved without sound. Montoya claimed the beings spoke to him, though not with words. They conveyed images and emotions directly into his mind. He understood that they had been observing humanity for centuries, intervening only during moments of great conflict. They saw war as a disease, and the Armada was merely another outbreak. The black ships had destroyed much of the fleet to prevent further bloodshed, but they warned that greater consequences would follow if humanity did not change its ways. When Montoya returned to Spain, his warnings were ignored. The Crown blamed the defeat on the storm and poor planning, erasing all mention of the strange black ships. But Montoya's journals survived, passed down through his family. They spoke of the alien presence and their message. Humanity was on a path to destruction, and these guardians would not remain passive forever. Over time, similar reports emerged from other naval disasters: the Mary Celeste in 1872, the USS Cyclops in 1918, all eerily consistent with Montoya's account. The black ships were still watching, and their judgment was inevitable. Centuries later, historians discovered unexplained anomalies in the records of the Spanish Armada. Several ships that had been listed as destroyed were never found. The wreckage of Nuestra Señora del Mar was located in the 1990s, far from its reported position, with strange burn marks along the hull and no signs of its crew. To this day, the true fate of the Armada remains a mystery. Were they victims of nature, war, or something far beyond human comprehension? And if the black ships were real, are they still watching us, waiting for humanity's next great conflict?